do that. And we're going to, there we go. We're going to look at various aspects of defense today. So we've got a few hands involving thinking about different aspects of defense. And we've got some polls coming up as well. So I'd like to start with this one where South opened a week no Trump, 12-14, and North raised to 3 no Trump. And your partner is on lead, and they led the 3 of spades. And down comes dummy, and you can. It's always worth looking at dummy and looking at the lead when you're in this position. And I would be think about what that lead of the 3 of spades showed. The other thing I'd be thinking about is that diamond suit in dummy. I can see that's going to be a source of tricks for declarer, but I do have the king of diamonds, so that might be that should be a trick for me. Anyway, declarer plays low from dummy, and I've got the first poll of the afternoon, which is which spade should East play. There's one right answer and there's 2 wrong answers. And the question is, which spade should East play, the Jack, the 10, or the 4? So let me launch the first poll. End the poll there. We don't have that many people on the call today, but if we look at the results, we'll see that most of you went for the 10 of spades, with 2 of you picking the Jack. And yes, the correct card to play is the 10. In third hand, you play as high as necessary, or you play the bottom of any 2 or more touching honors. So the right card to play is the 10. There are some situations where it doesn't really matter whether you play the Jack or the 10. But strictly speaking, if you play the Jack, you are telling your partner that you do not have the 10. You don't have if you play the 10, you're saying to your partner that you do not have the 9. Okay, so it does carry a message to your partner, and well done those of you who said the right card to play is the 10. And the 10 wins the trick as declarer plays the 5. And this is another time to think about things. And I've got the second poll coming up, and that actually has 2 questions in it. The first question is, how many spades do you think your partner started with? And what card do you think you should play at trick 2? You've just won the 10 of spades. Are you going to stick with spades or switch to another suit? And how many cards do you think how many spades do you think your partner West started with? So let me launch a second poll. And you may need to scroll down to see both parts of the question. How many spades do you think your partner started with? And which card should you play at trick 2? And it's a tie between 4 and 5 for the first part. And one person said they couldn't tell. And you've nearly all led back the Jack, with one person leading the 4 of spades. None of you has switched to another suit. And sorry, let's go here. And yes, you're right to plug away at spades. You may think it's odd for me to ask you to think about how many spades your partner started with, but they led the 3, and that is presumably their 4th highest. But in a situation like that, it could be that the 3 is their lowest card, but there's another card lower than the 3 that's unaccounted for, and that's the 2. So no one has played the 2. So either your partner had it and started with a 5-card spade suit, or declarer has it and didn't play it. In other words, declarer is false carding by playing the 5 rather than the 2. And although it's possible that declarer is false carding by playing the 5 instead of the 2, it's more likely that your partner started with 5 spades, and that makes the spade suit perhaps even more attractive for you to carry on with. Some declarers will false card, having the 5 and the 2, and they'll play the 5 just to try to confuse you. But most declarers don't bother to false card, And so it's more likely, I think, that your partner has five spades. Anyway, the correct play anyway, even though it's going to give away a trick to the king, is to carry on in spades. And with two cards, you lead the higher from two remaining cards, so you don't risk blocking the suit. And yet, correct, you should play the jack back. And here your partner overtakes with the queen. I presume they know what they're doing. And declarer wins the king. And now you should be pretty confident that you're going to defeat this contract because you've got the king of diamonds there. So declarer starts by maybe cashing some hearts, but at some point when they play diamonds, they're going to try the finesse. The finesse loses, and you're able to play a spade back. And if we bring up the four hands at this point, you can see your partner's got three spades. They don't need to play the ace even because there's a seven in dummy, but they carry on with the ace and the two to make five tricks. After that, if they play a heart, declarer can win that one, can take their clubs, and they'll make the rest. But you'll defeat the contract by one trick, holding declarer to eight tricks. By the way, if you replay this hand using the links I sent below the video, you can replay it and you can, for example, click here on the GIB button and you can see that, in fact, yes, the best lead by your partner is a spade, which will defeat the contract by one trick. Any other lead would allow declarer to make at least one over trick. Do interrupt me if you want to ask any questions about this. I'd like to turn your attention to this hand here, where it's gone one heart. You overcall two diamonds, then it went two spades, two no trump, three no trump. And you decide to lead your fourth highest diamond against three no trump. Down comes dummy, and your partner plays the jack of diamonds, and declarer wins the first trick with the king of diamonds. And I've got two questions coming up in the next poll. The first one is, after this first trick has gone and everyone has followed to one round of diamonds, how many diamonds are unaccounted for? In other words, how many diamonds remain in the south and east hands together? And then the second part of the question is, who has the queen of diamonds? Is it east, is it south, or can't you tell? So have a little think about that. Count the number of diamonds and work out how many diamonds are outstanding, and see if you can tell me who has the queen of diamonds. Okay, let's have a look at the answers. If you've still got time to answer, I'll give you another couple of seconds. Okay, let's have a look at your results. And for the first part, most of you said three. Some said they couldn't tell. And for the second part, most of you have gone for east, followed by south, and only two people said they can't tell. So let's see if we can tell. Well, the first part is a simple matter of arithmetic. The one round of diamonds has been played, so that's four gone. There's one in dummy, which is five, and you've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You've got five left, so that's 10 diamonds you can account for. That means there are three diamonds between east and south, and that includes the queen. Now, who has the queen? Well, one possibility is that your partner had the jack and the queen, and they correctly played the third hand, the lower of touching honors. The other possibility is that declarer had the king and the queen, and in that situation, they're under no obligation to play the queen. They may think playing the king is more likely to confuse you. So the correct answer to the second part is you cannot tell. You do not know who has the queen of diamonds. Your partner may have it or south may have it. So well done to the couple of people who got the right answer. Sometimes you will be able to know, where the honors are on opening lead, but here you don't know. Anyway, what we're going to do though is try and keep track of the diamonds as declarer plays the other suits, and they start off with spades, and They cash a spade, 2 rounds of spades. Everyone follows. They play another round of spades, and I hope you're watching what the discards are here. And they play another round of spades. And if you're watching what was going on, South discarded 2 diamonds. So there is only 1 diamond left outstanding now, and it is the queen. And you don't really care who has it, whether it's east or south, because now if you get in, you'll be able to run your diamonds. There's only the queen of diamonds outstanding. So I'm not suggesting you all sort of try to remember every suit as a defender, but as the suits are played, think about the suits that are important to you. Where you need to think about uh, how the suit's going to play. So they keep playing spades and they play hearts, and I'm going to keep my diamonds because if I can get in with the ace of clubs, I'm going to cash my diamonds. But they play another heart. Now I do have to discard what is a potential winner, a diamond. But when they play a club, of course, I go up with the ace, and now I can cash my diamonds. And yes, it turned out it was your partner on this occasion who had the queen, but you're going to be able to take the rest of the tricks and hold declarer to 8 tricks on that hand. Anyone have any questions about that?
I do. Before we go on, the first hand, you played the queen. West played the queen. I'm just wondering why.
So if we go back to here,
Hmm.
the 10 was played, then the jack was played, and West overtook at this point, yes. And West overtook because they realized there was a possibility that East might not have any more spades. And they worked out that they can afford to overtake because the 10 has gone and they've got the ace and 9. So this was up to your partner, but they didn't want to leave East stranded winning the jack of spades, and they may have worked out that it's okay to overtake. So anyway, so that was the next hand. Did anyone have any comments on that one? Let's try this one. And I've got just a simple question here. What's your opening lead here? South has opened 1 spade, North bid 1 no trump, South rebid 2 hearts, and North passed. And I want you to think about what's the likely distribution in the South hand, what's the likely distribution in the North hand, and the question here is, what do you think West should lead? Which card do you think West should lead? Here comes the next poll. Have a look at the results. And most of you have gone for the jack of clubs, with smaller numbers going for a heart, king of spades, or the 3 of spades. And let's have a little think about this. Well, you may be drawn to the jack of clubs as the most attractive lead there. It does have the merit that it's an unbid suit and you have a sequence, a 3-card sequence in it. So that's quite attractive. In fact, that's my second choice. But if you think about the bidding, you know that South has got at least 5 spades and at least 4 hearts. They've got 2 suits there, basically. And of the 2 suits that were bid, North prefers the hearts. Now, South, we said, has got at least 5 spades there, and you've got 4 spades, 4 nice spades in your hand. So you can be pretty certain that dummy is short in spades. They've got more hearts than spades. And because of your strong spade holding, you know that South doesn't have a spade suit that's going to take a lot of tricks. What you know is there's going to be a shortage of spades in dummy, and that South almost certainly has spade losers, which they are going to try to ruff in dummy. So I think this bidding sequence and your holding in spades calls out for a trump lead. Yes, you should lead a heart on this hand. And if you lead a heart, you see dummy, more or less what you expected in dummy. They've got three hearts and only one spade. And when the heart is played, if your partner can win this with the ace, they should cooperate with your plan and continue with another heart to prevent spade ruffs in dummy. Declarer gets in and then plays a spade over to their ace. They're now able to play another spade, which they ruff, um, but that's the only ruff they've got. So after that, let's suppose they play a club. Let's suppose your partner plays the king, wins that, and plays a spade over to you. And you can now take two spade tricks because there are no more trumps in dummy. So you can take a spade. If you shift now back to a club, if they play the queen, your partner wins the ace. Declarer roughs that. Declarer now draws what is the last trump, and they play the jack of spades. So you have to discard something. That's a winner. Um, and they then play a diamond, and this is another moment of decision for you. And you should probably not play the ace. Playing the ace on a low card may well help Declarer make another trick. So you should probably play low. If they play their king, they now have to play a diamond back. And now you beat the queen with the ace. And at the end, you can actually make a club trick. So good defense there can hold Declarer to seven tricks, can defeat two hearts. And if I go way back to the beginning and click on the GIB button, it's telling me that I can defeat this contract by leading a heart or a club. Although actually, if you lead a club, you then have to switch to a heart. You can see it's more or less what you expect, that Declarer's got these spade losers, and he's very likely to want to rough those in dummy. And because you were able to draw two rounds of trumps, Declarer could only rough one losing spade, and so was defeated. Do let me know if you have any questions on that one. Just want to look at a relatively simple one about problems discarding. Here it's gone one no trump, three no trump, and your partner leads the king of hearts, and you don't have any help for them in hearts, but you can see they've got off to a good lead, which is the top of the sequence. And let's suppose they play low from dummy. You're going to play low here because you don't have anything to encourage your partner with. They play another heart, and Declarer wins that. And now Declarer starts playing clubs, and you're going to have some discarding decisions to make. And these are the things you need to bear in mind as they play the club. So they take their ace, they take their king, they play another club, and you've got to find some discards here. Well, one thing I want to do is keep my king of spades guarded. So I can afford to discard two spades, but I don't want to play a third spade, of course. I also want to keep the seven of hearts, because if I do get in, I want to lead a heart back because my partner's got a sequence. They led the king, remember. And I will, as far as possible, I want to keep my diamonds protected as well. So when they play their clubs, I start off discarding spades. If they play another club, I'm going to discard a diamond. And on this hand, they have no more clubs to play. So whatever they play now, they can win that. And I've got, you know, the queen of diamonds and the king of spades to get in if necessary. If they play the queen of spades now, let's just bring up the four hands, and we'll see that Declarer's made seven tricks so far. So they could actually make this contract with the ace of spades and the king of diamonds. But if they try the finesse, then I get in with my king. And of course, I can play a heart back as I've kept the heart, and my partner will be able to cash their heart tricks. Declarer makes the last one, but we'll hold Declarer to 8 tricks on that one. So just sort of some simple guidelines of what to discard there. And finally, let's try this one where you're defending against 4 spades. It's gone one spade, two diamonds, three spades, four spades, and your partner leads the queen of clubs, and you can see a very strong suit in dummy, and Declarer plays low from dummy, and I've got the final poll of the afternoon, which is which club are you going to play? Are you going to play the ace, the eight, or the two? So here comes the last poll, and the question is, what should East play? Let's have a look at the results. And majority went for the ace, but quite a few of you favoured the eight or the two. So let's switch back and see what we can figure out about this. Well, if I go back one card there after not playing from dummy, we know when my partner leads the queen of clubs that that is presumably a sequence. I suppose it could conceivably be a shortage, but that's not very likely based on the bidding. It would leave South with a lot of clubs there. Much more likely that's a sequence of headed by the Queen Jack 10 or something similar. And what it tells you is that South has got the king. Your partner does not have the king. And that means that the defense can only ever make one club trick here. You may think that's an unfortunate lead, but it's a normal lead. And Declarer sitting there with the king, so you're only ever going to make one club. So you don't want to play low. You don't want to play the eight or the two. You need to take this with the ace. And because there are now no more clubs available, the only other place you can make tricks is in hearts. And you're hoping that your partner's got something suitable in hearts to make hearts. You may have a natural trump trick. Maybe your partner's got the king and can make, a high spade. But apart from that, your only place to make tricks is in hearts. And with that long, strong suit in dummy, the diamonds, you need to switch to hearts now. Otherwise, Declarer will draw trump, run the diamonds, and probably you won't make any heart tricks. So you lead top of the sequence, the jack, and you're hoping for some kind of holding like this where your partner's got the ace and you are at least able to make two heart tricks. After this, whatever your partner plays back, Declarer can ruff that, and Declarer will just now draw trumps. And once trumps are gone, they can cash their clubs and cash their diamonds, and they will make 10 tricks. You can't actually defeat this contract, but you will hold Declarer to 10 tricks if you find that correct defense. If we go back to this point here, if I use the GIB button, it's telling me that if I play the ace of clubs, I can hold Declarer to just making, whereas they'll make 3 over tricks if I don't play the ace of clubs. Yes, they'll make all those over tricks because they've got 6 spade tricks and 6 diamond tricks they can make. So when you see a long, strong suit like that in dummy, you need to think about cashing your winners, trying to take any tricks you can in any side suit. And here it's 2 hearts. You can't make more than 2 hearts on one club here. But if you do take those 3 tricks, that's at least stopping Declarer making 12 tricks, which is what they can make here. Any comments on that one? We'll end the talk there. I'll just stop sharing my screen with you. And if you're playing in the game today and you need a partner, please join the game and go and sit at a table. And I'll come along and, sit at a table, call the director, and I'll come over.